Hello, everybody. Welcome to about a 45-minute yoga class for people with some back pain, or just if you have any type of lower back issues. It's all going to be on the mat, so mostly laying down, probably all laying down. You can absolutely do this on the bed if that works better for you. My husband is in the room with me, and hopefully he will not bother anybody and not make any weird noises. So we'll see how that goes. So everybody, if you'll just lay down on your mat. My name is Suzanne. I work down in Florida at MVP in the Villages in Brownwood. So welcome, and hope you enjoy the class. So on your mats or on the floor or on your bed, with your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor, we're going to put your hands on your belly and your eyes shut. And we're just going to breathe. So let's actually take your feet just a little bit wider of your hips and drop your inner thighs and your knees together so that they're relaxed. Wiggle your toes. Walk your shoulders down away from your ears. And just breathe. If you have any soft music that you want to play in the background, you are more than welcome to do that. And with your hands on your belly, I just want you to feel your inhale breath, your belly rise with that inhale. And then feel yourself pressing down on your belly lightly to let go of all of your breath on your exhale. And then just repeat that breath, inhaling and exhaling. Just noticing where your body feels uncomfortable, and just trying to focus those inhale breaths on those parts that feel just a little bit out of whack. And with your eyes shut, I'd like you to just bring your arms up overhead. You can have your elbows bent, it's perfectly fine. You can actually put your hands underneath your head if that feels better for you, or a pillow or a block. Let's bring your knees up so that they're facing the ceiling. Your feet flat underneath your knees, a little bit further away, but just so that they're in line with your hips. And just kind of let your shoulders relax, let your chest open, and we're just going to drop your knees side to side. So you're just going to notice how your back feels. And if you end up doing this video multiple times, and at different times of the day, you're going to notice right away that your body feels different at different times of the day. So if you're fairly new to yoga, that might throw you off a little bit, but in the morning your body's going to be a little bit tighter. In the evening, after you've done various things, your body will be a little bit looser. When those knees get over to your right side, you're going to leave your knees there. You're going to interlace your fingers over your head and give yourself a big full body stretch. You're going to try to reach through your left knee, the left rib cage, waist area, your armpit on the left. Just stretching out that whole side body on the left side. Big deep breaths. You're going to bring those knees back to center. You're going to drop them over to the opposite side. You're going to stretch those arms again up over your head. Same thing on this side, noticing any difference. Reaching through now your right knee, right side of your body, right shoulder, your right armpit, that right arm. Big deep breaths. One more breath. You're going to come back to center. You're going to bring your feet a little bit closer to your upper body. Bend your elbows. And then just drop your knees out to the side. So you're in reclined cobbler's pose. If your feet will touch, go ahead and touch them together. If they won't, perfectly fine. Just let your knees fall to the side. If that's not comfortable for your arms to stay over your head, or you'd like to just put a little bit more pressure on those legs to open up, you can put your hands at your inner thighs and just feel a little bit more opening at your inner thighs and your groin area. Trying to keep length in your spine. And big deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. One more breath. Let's bring those knees back up to center. Your feet flat on the floor, heels as close to you as you can. Hands down at your side. Let's lift both arms up overhead and then lower them right back down at your side. So we're just going to warm up your shoulders a little bit. Working on moving with your breath. So big inhale as you lift and an exhale as you bring your palms down. Lifting that torso off your waist. And then trying to leave that length in your spine and your torso as you bring your hands back down to your side. All right, you're going to bring your hands back down at your side. Just relax them. Relax your shoulders. Let's take your right foot and just lift your leg off the mat. And then set it right back down. Then lift your left leg up and right back down. So you're just going to inhale and then exhale. Just alternating these leg lifts. Noticing how one side of your body feels versus the other. And then as you do it a couple of times, see if you can lift your leg up just a little bit more. One more time on each side. And then you're going to take your right leg and extend it all the way up into the air. You're going to grab either behind your hamstring or your calf and just pull it into your upper body. And then just release it all the way back down to the ground. Long, long leg. Then see if you can just lift that leg all the way back up. grabbing behind your hamstring again, pulling that leg in, and then slowly lowering it back down. So your option here, if that doesn't feel good for you, is to keep your leg bent and just pull the knee in, giving yourself a little hug, and then lowering that foot back down with that bent knee. So you decide what feels right for you, what feels good for your back, what doesn't feel good for your back, and you make the adjustments for yourself. We're going to go one more time. And then slowly bend your right knee, put your right foot on the floor, extend your left leg up to the ceiling, pull it in, give yourself a little hamstring stretch, and then if you can, lower that leg straight all the way back down. Lifting it back up, hands behind your hamstring, pull that leg in, and slowly lower it back down. So again, same adjustment here. If you need to bend the knee, just bring it in, give yourself a little hug, and lower it back down. Just move on your own breath. Find a breathing pattern that works for you. I'd probably exhale as you lift, and then inhale as you lower it down. But actually, if it feels better for you to inhale and lift and exhale and lower, you do whatever feels natural as long as you keep breathing. That's the most important part of yoga, is to just keep breathing. Let's do one more time on this side. And then let's pull both knees in and give yourself a big hug. So you can rock side to side, only if that feels good for you. For some people it does not feel good, so please don't do it if it doesn't. And then let's come back to center and turn your feet around your ankle joints. And if they're making noises, perfectly fine. Opposite direction. And then let's point them and flex. You can do both at the same time, or you can kind of pump your feet, pointing one and flexing one. And then your arms are going to go out at the side as your feet just are neutral, and you're going to drop your knees to the left. So dropping those knees over to the left, trying to get your knees on top of each other and your hips on top of each other. So you can roll all the way over if you need to, and then start working your way back. So really try to get that left thigh on the floor and your right thigh, inner thigh, onto your left inner thigh. And then work on the twist, coming back at your waist, looking up or over to the right. You can place the left hand on your leg or just keep them both out in that cross position. Again, whatever feels right for you. Big deep breaths. Coming back to center with the knees. We're going to drop them over to the opposite side. So again, knees on top of each other, hips on top of each other, arms out to the side, twisting at your waist, not at your hips, looking up or to the left, and breathing. Eyes shut. Trying to relax all those parts of your body that do not need to be working. So try to relax your shoulders into your mat. Try to relax your fingers and your toes. One more breath. Let's come back to center. Let's bring those knees in. Give yourself that hug again. You're going to cross at your ankles and you're going to rock a couple of times till you can come up to a seated position. So if you need to roll over onto your side and just push yourself up, that's perfectly fine. If you need to grab onto a piece of furniture, that's perfectly fine. So we're just going to have a seat. And you can be seated on your bed. That's perfectly fine. But if you are seated in some position that makes you feel like you're slouching, I would like you to either sit on a pillow that makes you tip forward a little bit at your pelvis, or if you're on a bed, I want you to sit with your back up against the backboard of the bed or against the wall so that you cannot slump, and especially if you have a nice soft bed. So let's take your left leg and reach it straight out. So it's either going to go straight out in front of you or a little bit out to the side. Your right knee is bent and you're going to sit up as tall as you can. You're going to turn yourself towards that extended left leg and think about somebody pulling you nice and tall at the crown of your head. And then you're just going to start to fold forward at your hip, not at your waist. So no slouching down. It's nice and tall. And you just try to get your heart towards your knee. If you need to bend that left leg, perfectly fine. If you need to use a strap or a towel around that leg or around your foot, you can do that if that helps you. And then I'd like you to try to drop that right shoulder down a little bit so that you're really stretching the mid-back on the right side of your body, which is called your quadratus lumborum muscle. It helps us twist. So it's good in all those twisting sports like golf and pickleball. So you want to be as long as you can on your inhale. So think about lengthening your spine. And when you exhale, you just fold a little bit more. Always think about length in your spine. Take one more breath. And when you inhale, I want you to just come up to a seated position, leaving your legs right where they are, being nice and tall. And then I want you to just twist to your right. So pushing down into the mat or the bed with your hips, being nice and tall, and twisting. And then realizing what's going on with your left foot, maybe flexing it, maybe pointing it, but just being aware of what it's doing out there. Nice and tall. Inhale and lengthen, exhale and twist. One more breath. Come back to center. And then let's extend the opposite leg and bend your left. So again, nice and tall. You can sit up on those sit bones, grab your own cheeks back behind you. Sit up tall, turn yourself towards your long leg, and this leg is bent as far as you can. Nice and tall on an inhale, and then forward on your exhale. So again, now it's your left arm. It's going to reach to the outside of your right. Again, you could have your strap or towel around those toes, or just grab on your legs someplace. You don't have to have a strap or a towel. But just try to square up the shoulders and then drop the left one down so that you feel that stretch of that quadratus lumborum muscle. Mid-back left side. As well as those hamstrings, if you need to, your knee is bent. Try not to slouch. Don't drop your chin to your chest. Just make sure that you are extending up through the crown of your head, realizing that one side is different than the other. So shut your eyes and just breathe. All right, one more breath. You're going to sit up nice and tall. We're twisting now to your left. So push your hips down, extend up through the crown of your head, and twist. At your waist, use that right hand on your left leg to push yourself into a bigger twist. And remember what's going on with that right foot. One more breath. Let's come around to center. And you already have this knee bent, so let's keep it bent. And then let's bend this opposite knee so that you have a 90-degree angle with both legs. We're going to sit up as tall as you can. You just do your best, whatever you can do. And then you're just going to walk your upper body over either your knees, so you can be on this angle if that's easier, or you can try to walk over that shin or somewhere in between. Trying to get your shoulders square to the floor, but you should feel this in your glutes on that left leg, your piriformis area. It's all connected and associated with low back pain. So just breathe into it, don't force anything. Every time you inhale, lengthen your spine. Every time you exhale, think about coming down a little bit deeper. Maybe somebody is pulling you back into your hips and pulling you forward from your arms, lengthening that torso. One more breath. Let's slowly come up to a seated position, very slowly. And then let's switch legs. So your right knee is going to bend, your left leg is going to bend to the side, so you have a 90-degree angle with both knees. You're sitting up again nice and tall. So this side is going to be a little bit more challenging for me, and it's probably going to be the same one way or the other for you. So again, don't judge yourself, just do your best and find a way to just fold forward as you lengthen and then fold. So it's just a modified pigeon pose. It's a lot more gentle on your joints to have that back leg bent. And just breathe. Push back into your hips. Lengthen out through your arms. Use a little traction with your fingertips to pull your upper body forward as you resist back through your hips. Breathe. You have 2 more breaths. You're going to slowly walk up. your hands with your hands to a seated position. Let's bring your knees up in front and a little bit wider with your feet than your hips. So we're just going to drop your knees side to side a couple of times. Not doing anything that causes you pain. And then when your knees get over to your right, you're going to leave them there and you're going to twist again. So this left arm is going to come back. Your left hand is going to try to meet your right hand behind you so that you have this big twist. And then you're just going to bring yourself all the way back to center. Bringing your knees up and over to the other side. Right arm back to your left hand. And then up through center. Let's do that one more time. So this time maybe you might try to lay down, reaching that left arm away from you, lengthening this whole back side or whole side of your left side of your body. Like there's something just out of reach behind you. And then come on back to center. Drop the knees over to the left. Same thing over here, just doing your best. Maybe bending that left elbow, reaching for something just outside of your reach. All right, then coming back to center. Nice job. We're going to lay back down. So if you don't have a towel or a strap, I'll give you options without it. But if you want to take a moment to grab something, any sort of towel will work, a strap, a tie. You can run out of the room and get it, or do it without it this time. But I will show you some options with and without that. So you're going to lay back on your back. Let's try to drop those knees side to side again. And let's try to notice how they feel from when we did it, 25 minutes ago. Should feel a little bit easier. So we're going to go through a little hamstring series, coming back to center with your knees. Bringing your left knee in a little bit closer. Your right leg is going to go up in the air. So if you have a towel or strap, you're going to put it around your foot. So right underneath your toes, the ball of your foot. If you don't have a towel or strap, then your hands go behind your hamstring or your calf, or you reach your toes. You never ever want to pull right behind your knee joint. And that left leg can stay bent, or you can straighten it. You want to try to maintain a straight leg on the right one, the one that's up in the air. So you'd rather not be with your knee bent and closer. You'd rather it be straighter and further away. So you decide what is best for you, using your arms, your hands, wherever you can put your body. You could actually raise your upper body up if that felt okay for your back. And if you can, I would really try to flex that foot so that you're getting a calf and a hamstring stretch, pushing the heel up and the hip down. Taking one more breath. And I want you to either hold your strap if you're using it in your right hand, or just hold your leg, maybe your pants, the inside of your pant leg, or just your leg, or if you have the flexibility, hold onto your toes. We're going to let your leg drop open to the right. Your left arm is going to go out to the side. So you decide Again, the strap or the towel, maybe you're just going to hold in the inside of your hamstring. And try not to let anything come between you and the floor. Just so you can try to edge your leg as far down as you can. A 90-degree angle is what you're shooting for. But if you can't get there, know that you are perfectly normal and that most people can't. So you're just going to do what you can and be happy with that. Trying to keep your left hip on the floor. The best you can. It's going to rise off a little bit, that's for sure. But just think about pushing it down, opening up the whole front side of your body. And breathing. All right, one more breath. You're going to bring that leg up through center. Hold the strap or towel or your leg with your left hand, and then let that leg go all the way over to your left. So you have a big twist at your waist. If that doesn't feel very good for you, you're going to bend that bottom leg, which is your left, so that it's not so much of a twist. You can bend your leg if you need to. Your right arm goes out to the side. You're looking up or to the right. And you're breathing. Make sure that breath is getting all the way below your waist. Inflating your whole body with each breath. Coming back to center nice and gently. You can bend that knee as you come back. Put your right foot down. Extend your left leg up with a strap towel or just your hands behind your calf, hamstring, or toes. Again, whatever feels right. Just don't put your hands right behind your knee joint. Right leg extends or stays bent. And breathe. Try to just focus on your breath. You're just going to let that leg drop open to your left. Right arm out to the side. Try to flex that left foot. Try to do something with your right foot. That leg should be straight. And your right arm out to the side. Opening up the whole front side of your body for nice deep breaths. One more breath here. Then bring that leg up through center. Let it all go over to the other side, twisting at your waist. Left arm out to the side. Again, you don't need the strap. You can just put your right hand on your left leg, and you can bend your right knee if you need to. Looking up or to the side. Big deep breaths. Try to relax as much as you can into the twist. All right, one more breath. And then come on back to center. Bringing your knees in, giving yourself a big hug. Turning those feet around your ankle joints. Opposite direction. And then let's put your feet back down on the floor. All right, what I'd like you to do is just put your hands palms down. I'd like you to roll over a little bit to one side, putting your hand underneath your glutes, your other hand underneath your other glutes. So your hands are underneath your own cheeks. And then see about just straightening your legs and maybe pulling your shoulder blades together just a little bit. Just so you feel a little bit of a back bend and a little bit of a chest opening. It's just a little modified fish pose, but nothing too intense and nothing that's going to hurt our necks at all. So you should just feel like somebody has a string at your belly button and they're just trying to lift you off the mat just a little bit. And you're sort of letting them at your belly button, but kind of resisting with your toes and the backs of your arms. Your eyes are shut. And you're breathing. Then bend both knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Lift your hips up, maybe one at a time. Remove your hands. And then bring your knees back into your chest. Give yourself that hug again. And then let's find happy baby. So for some of you, if you have really severe low back pain, this might not work for you. So I'd like you to just hold behind your hamstrings and give yourself this hug, and this is perfectly fine. If you can, you're going to put the bottoms of your feet up to the ceiling and your knees stay bent, and you push your knees away from the midline of your body and you start just pushing your knees down and away from you so that you look like a happy baby or a dead bug. But we would rather be happy babies right now, so you can kind of rock side to side. And if this doesn't cause you any pain in your low back, your tailbone is down, your spine is long, you maybe be able to grab onto your big toes. Flexing your feet, putting your feet so that they're facing the ceiling. Knees bent and out, and then push your knees down to the floor. Take one more breath. Come out of that nice and slow. Put your left foot down in the middle of your mat. Cross your right leg over as tight as you can. Arms out to the side. Your foot can stay on the mat, or you can bring your knees in and drop your knees over towards the left for a little bit more intense twist. If it's too much, all you got to do is unwind your knees. One more breath. Bring those knees back to center. Switch the cross of your legs. Right foot down on the mat or off, and drop your knees to the right. 2 or 3 breaths right here. Slowly come back to center. Extend both feet straight, both legs straight. Let your toes just fall to each side. If you have your towel, you can put that over your eyes. We're just going to lay nice and quiet and still for just a couple of minutes. It's a very gentle practice, so you don't need much of a final relaxation when things are gentle. But I am going to keep you here for about 3 minutes. And this is the most important part of your yoga practice. So the best you can, relax your shoulders. Shut your eyes. Try to keep all those outside thoughts and distractions away. And just breathe. Let's start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Just slowly, gently waking yourself back up. You can stretch your arms up overhead and give yourself a big full body stretch. You can bend both knees and rock them side to side. And then you can find a side position that feels good for a breath or two. And then just slowly start to push yourself up to a seated position. Nice and slow. You do not have to move with my voice. It's your time, so you can take your time, however long it takes you to find a seated position. And then once you get there, your hands are going to be at your side, and we're going to take a couple of breaths together. So when you inhale, your arms go up, and a big ah as you exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Ah. And 1 more time. Ah. Thank you guys for watching. Have a fabulous night. Namaste. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye-bye.